In addition to all this political tumult, this has been a rough year for you, a difficult year for you. Your husband, Major Michael Haley, was in Africa on his second active duty deployment during your campaign. I can't imagine.
I would not recommend it.
Yeah, that must have just emotionally been very difficult. I know, I mean, you and your husband
I mean, he's like my right arm. I've never gone through any challenge without him. We met when I was 17. I mean, we've dated for 7 years. We've been married for almost 28. Like, everything I know is related to Michael, and he would say the same. But when this happened, I had announced I was going to run, and I know when that call comes, he's always going to serve his country. You know, when I was governor, he was deployed to Afghanistan. And I remember everybody saying, well, can't you just tell them he can't go? And I said, he would divorce me. Like, it doesn't work. I'm so proud of him. And I'm proud of the unit he served with. I'm proud of the sacrifices. They dealt a lot with the Houthis and all that was going on in the shipping channel. And so I'm really proud of him. But being without him, no, you're going through the toughest challenge of your life without your best friend. It's a very hard thing to do.
And then there was a moment when Donald Trump mocked his absence, basically suggesting that he was away for some other reason, to get away from you, I think he said. What was that like?
You know, for me, it's not personal. I know Donald Trump, he's going to throw something just to kind of get people upset, and I think he got pushed back for that. But, you know, what I do feel bad is those that are serving. I mean, when they serve, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. They're not with their family. Their lives are in danger. There's a lot there. And we should never talk about military personnel in any way that's not putting them on a pedestal, because we are free because of them. We are living in a great country because of the sacrifices that were made. And I think that's one that we need to always just cherish, the soldiers that fight for us.
I remember talking to Senator McCain in 2000 after he dropped out. And about how he had changed. The experience had changed him. He met people, when you're running for president as opposed to senator of Arizona, governor of South Carolina, your mind is just naturally open to things that you weren't aware of. How did the experience change you?
So blessed. I am so blessed. I look back and I just have so much gratitude. When we suspended, I was grateful for a supportive family. I was grateful for my friends. I was grateful for the most amazing campaign team that we had. I was grateful for the people that allowed us to kind of come into their lives. And, you know, we suspended with no regrets. I left it all on the field. I don't know anything else I could have done. And my goal was to make sure as many people could vote as possible. And that's what we tried to do, whether it was in Iowa, New Hampshire, or going through all those Super Tuesday states. We wanted to go and push it all the way out as far as we could, and we did that. And I'm proud of it.
What did you think when people kept voting for you even though you dropped out? Like in my home Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, especially in the collar counties, outside Philly, you were getting 25% of the vote in some of these places?
I was overwhelmed. I was touched at the fact that, you know, when we suspended our movement, that the movement didn't stop. And, you know, again, I'm grateful for all of that support. And I would tell all of them, let's not stop fighting for our country. We have to do that.
Your beloved father, Ajit Singh Randhawa,
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You did, yes.
He passed away on Father's Day at the age of 90. That must have been just devastating. But I also wonder what the experience was like for him and for your mom to have their Nikki running for president. Tell us.
It's still hard. I mean, I never knew the pain of a parent passing, but it's like your safety net is gone.
It's only been a month.
It hasn't been that long, but I'm thankful that he was there when I announced for president. He was so proud that day. I'm one of 4 kids, and they raised us to be the best we could be. They always said the best way to appreciate your blessings is to give back. And we tried to do that. You know, my mom, they both came here from India with $8 in their pocket. My mom was a lawyer in India, and she was asked to be on the bench as a judge, one of the first female judges, but because of the times and how hard it was, she was never able to sit on the bench. So she was able to watch her daughter become governor. And then they were both able to watch me run for president. And so I'm grateful that they had that. But none of that would have been possible without the support and their love for America. I mean, I owe it all to them.
How are you managing to get through this year? I mean, it's a lot.
You know, in 2023, I had to get my daughter, we announced for president,
Right.
I had to get my daughter married. And then, going through a campaign, there's nothing tougher and more rewarding than a presidential campaign. Because it's the most humbling experience you can ever be. You're begging for everything. You're begging for votes. You're begging for signs. You're begging for money. But you're doing it because you love our country. And this was for my kids. It was for the next generation. Because I worry about them owning a home. I worry about them getting a job. I worry about the debt that they're going to have to pay. And to be able to go and spread that, it was such a blessing. But after the suspension, Michael came home 6 weeks later, so that was great. Naylon graduated from college. Both kids said, "Dad, you were deployed. Mom, you ran for president. We need a vacation." We took a vacation, and then my father passed. So it's been a whirlwind of emotions, but I'm just grateful.
You're only 52. What's next? I mean, might you run for president again? Might you take a job with, if Trump wins, his administration? What's going to happen?
I'm not looking for a job in his administration. I don't know whether I would run again. I think you never say never, but I don't know how you can be someone who goes through all of that and says, "Oh, let's run for president again." It's just not a natural thing. So right now, that's not, what I'm thinking. What I know is, how do I fight for my country? How do I continue to love her and show, the blessings that we have, and how do we make her stronger? So I know my voice will always be out there. I know I'll always be active in some way. And so we'll see.
Great. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.